Welcome back to Let's Play Capo 2. I know I said I was going to take a break, but turns out that's not the case because I was bored shitless when I didn't have anything to record. I was like playing Time Splitters Future Perfect. I was going through some old maps that I had made from 2006 to 2009, and I gotta say, my grammar back then was way worse than today. I was just like, wow, that was really bad. But anyways, anxiety has settled down a little. Although, I woke up around about some point in the evening and I slept through the morning and the afternoon. And the entire time, vivid dreams, nightmares, and it was like I was watching two different stories play out one at a time. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, at the time, I was like, this could be good potential for a story. Then once I woke up, there was a bit of sleep paralysis in between, as freaking usual with these kind of scenarios, and it pisses me off. Then I woke up, I was like, I don't even know who, where, what, in other words, I didn't know where the fuck I was, because I'd been sleeping for so long and had such weird-ass dreams, that when I woke up, I was like, who the fuck am I? And like, as soon as I finally began to wake up a bit, it's like, you know, those ideas that I thought were good at the time in those dreams, no, they kind of sucked. They made no sense. So anyways, after that cluster, let's try getting some recording in. Click. Slam! Ouch! I felt an impact on the back of my head. My neck bent forward in 90 degrees. Instantly, I saw flashes. You had an entire 2 days since I last recorded the dodge stat and you didn't. I heard a ball bouncing behind me. I'm sorry we couldn't afford to have a voice actor for all the characters. A kid ran up and collected the ball. I didn't know how to respond to that. I still didn't know what to say. I guess my condition wasn't a priority. I still felt dizzy. I rubbed where the ball hits. I didn't feel a bump. I should be okay. Don't feel a bump either. I shook my head lightly. You may have felt the back of my head. Yeah, maybe I should. What frickin' ball hit you, man? You may put the notebook back in her bag. Are you done? You're a poem, you usually jot down stuff, right? Then what was that notebook for? Whatever. Although she said then, I was sure it was a book of poetry. Or maybe it's just like sketch pad of penises. That'd be random. Or maybe she was jotting down some embarrassing stuff like this or that. You're just imagining things. It's your imagination. We headed home as we talked. Here you are. The day is still not yet complete and we're on part 4. The smell of something good wafted from the simmering pot. Here's some soy sauce. Otone added a little soy sauce to the pot to adjust the taste. She scooped a little sauce with a ladle of to taste. She brought the ladle closer to my mouth. Don't say that. I took a sip of the broth. I tasted just the right amount of soy sauce and mirin mixed in the sauce. You know what I find really stupid? Is when I was editing the previous part, the freaking audio and the video itself just seemed out of sync. There was like part missing of the audio. It's like, what the fuck happened there? And so you may have noticed in the previous part that I still had a bit of echoing, despite the fact that I said that I finally got the microphone working. It was because part of the audio just freaking upright disappeared. And having it up in sync is really difficult when shit like that happens. And like part of the video didn't record and it was kind of stuck in place. So I had to adjust the audio. And then it's just like, what the hell happened there? I have no idea. Well, like I just said, part of the audio seemed to have been missing. It does tend to happen. There's always like 1 second or something of audio that ends up not recording as long as the video, or it's the other way around. I don't know, it's weird. But it never goes out of sync like that with other stuff. I mean, what the hell? It tasted perfect. Or maybe it always has and I just never noticed. Yeah, this is great. I mean, take Pokemon Emerald for example. When I record that, you can never tell if it's ever out of sync, really, because you can just hear the music perfectly, and that's all you really hear in-game. There's no voice acting, so you never really can tell if it's that out of sync, and besides, the commentary kind of goes along with it perfectly in sync, so if it's like by a millisecond or something out of sync, you wouldn't notice, really, unless you paid a shit ton of attention, and even then, I'm not sure. Otome turned the stove off and smiled. Speaking of Pokemon Emeralds, I'm still doing nothing but level grinding in that game, and that's probably added to my feeling like crap, you know? It's like, I can't be arsed level grinding all these little bastards. Why am I raising so many Pokemon to level 70? Do I really need that much for the Battle Frontier? I mean, I haven't even uploaded the Battle Frontier parts yet. I'm still on part 30-something on uploads. And I'm like, the next recording I gotta do for Pokemon Emerald when I get around to it will be part 60. Wait, no, that was your line. It looks great. I answered as I looked at the grill. Otome and I were fixing dinner. This was nothing unusual for us. Otome's house was next door, so she usually came over to my place and we'd fix and eat dinner together. We'd spend some time together after dinner and then she'd go home. So they don't live in the same house then? Since I moved to the Yoshino residence half a year ago, this has been happening almost every day. So he lives with the principal and his sisters that aren't really his biological sisters live next door. So how are they his sisters anyway? Like in any way? Like, is it gonna explain? I didn't mind it at all. Hey Yume, get some plates ready. There was one more. I told Yume, who was probably relaxing in the living room. She replied lazily. Yume-chan! Yume sluggishly dragged herself to the kitchen. Lazy as me, are we? She was wearing a jersey shirt and glasses, aka a totally relaxed wardrobe. She looked so different from when she was at school. Otone fumbled with the edge of her apron while standing next to me. Why is she being bashful? In other words, what I'm trying to say is I'm too lazy to help you out, so I'm gonna use an excuse for buggering off while you two do all the work. Okay, that's enough. Get some plates ready. Dinner was served on the plates Yume put out. You know, for a kitchen, this has quite a bit of space, so maybe that's because the kitchen in my house is just tiny. It's like you got the friggin' back door, and you just walk in, and then it's like... It's really not much space in the kitchen itself, and then you got the dining room right next to it. And it's not really all that big either, it's pretty small. Cooked potatoes, grilled salmon, steamed rice, and miso soup.
そんな新婚さんだなんて。
Otone was still off in her own world.
それで弟くんのクラスでは何するの？
We're doing a puppet show.
人形劇ってあの人形劇？
Oh, there are various types of puppet show? Well, yeah.
創作系の出し物やるんだ。てっきり露店とかなのかなって思ってたよ。
Now you got the ones with strings, you got the hand puppets. Which one are you doing anyway?
そうだね。なんか兄さんのキャラじゃないよね。どっちかっていうと兄さんはメイド喫茶とか言い出しそうだし、
Another classic cliche.
あとバニーちゃんとかチャイナとか。
What a rude sister she is. It bugs me that she knows my taste so well. Oh, I see. And Zuna kinda wanted to do it, actually. I thought it would be interesting to do. Was either that or a haunted house, and haunted house is kinda cliche, you know?
でも大丈夫？本番まであまり時間ないよ。
I like
ちゃ
how
んとできる？
in the first part when I was like, oh, super cliche like a haunted house, and then Tsuginami in that very same part suggests a haunted house. So just like, there it is. The only thing missing was the maid one. Just like, oh, let's have like a maid cafe, you know, the ultimate cliche that's more cliche than the haunted house. I think it'll be okay. They were saying they already have a plan for the script. I was told I won't have to do many lines.
弟くんセリフあるの？
Otone got excited and leaned forward. Yeah, yes.
どんな役なの？
She leaned forward even more to be closer to me. Well, the main character, I guess. How can the main character not have many lines unless he's a silent protagonist? I suppose.
主役！で、どんなお話なの？弟くんはどんな感じの役？
I haven't seen the script yet, so I'm not really sure. I think they were saying it'll be a romantic story.
相手はどなたです？
She asked sharply. She wasn't interested at all until now. Otone was staring directly at me. She wasn't even blinking, but that's because they didn't add in blinking effects. You know, some visual novels have done that. I can't remember which ones. I think... yeah, there have been a few that I've seen that do that, but of any of the ones I have LP done that, I don't think so. The air felt heavy. Coco maybe? I answered in the form of a question.
ココ先輩と兄さんのラブロマンスね。
That face she keeps making, man, just like, Don't put it that way.
エッチなのはダメだからね。
What, with puppets? What is she saying? She's the student council president. How can we do something sexual at an academy event?
だって弟くんだもん。
It's just like, and now time, children, for the puppet sex scene. It's like, what the hell is this, Team America? What does that supposed to mean? What?
そうだね。兄さんだしね。
Don't agree with her.
ま、でもお姉ちゃん的には助かるんじゃない？
I didn't hear no One-chan.
兄さんがそれで忙しくなれば今回は悪さしないだろうし。そうだね。戦力を杉並くんに集中できるのは大きいね。それになんか楽しみだな。
You don't need to come watch the show, okay?
絶対見に行くね。
Otone smiled. I'm telling you, it won't be that fun.
絶対見に行くね。
I wonder how I would act in one of those type of shows. Probably just like put on my goofy Echo the Dolphin voice, just be like, and now it is time for the story. Here I am, Echo the Dolphin as a puppet. And it's a romantic one. And then freaking Maya comes up and says like, hey Echo, it's me. It's like, oh no, this is not the type of show I was expecting to happen. No!
絶対見に行くね。
No! She was already in I won't hear any more of it mode. When Anthony gets like this, there's nothing that changes her mind.
私も冷やかしに行こうかな。
Just to laugh at your poor acting skills. You don't need to.
いや、妹としましては青春の汗を流す兄の晴れ舞台をぜひとも拝見させていただかないと。
Please just leave me alone.
一緒に見に行こうか。うん、そうだね。一緒に行こう。
The Asakura sisters looked at each other and smiled. Those two sisters were ganging up on me.
それじゃあ当日の予定は。うんうん。
I continued to eat dinner quietly as the two talked and planned happily. Yume kept looking at me every once in a while mischievously. Otone seemed to be truly looking forward to the performance. This is horrible. Maybe I should have voted for a haunted house. I could only sigh. From the walkthrough, I did notice that, like, the first choice in various routes was the puppet show, and then there were some routes that you'd have to pick the haunted house for. I wonder how the haunted house one would have gone. And so the first day was... No, it's still going on, actually. Jeez, you're dragging this day on. I stretched and I laid in my bed. When I looked at the clock, I realized it was already late. Maybe I should go to sleep. Just as I closed the magazine I was reading, I heard a knock on the door. I come in. My landlord came in excitedly despite the time of the day. Seriously, I still can't believe that you are not only the principal, but you're actually in your 60s as well. Remember when I was like 20s or 30s at most, but any more than that is definitely pushing it, it's already pushing it. And it doubles it? Just like, what the freaking hell, Japan? Her golden hair bounced. Well, I was about to go to sleep.
テンション低いな、吉行くんは。
No matter how many times I'd seen her tiny body and those gestures, it's hard to believe that she's my guardian. Indeed. How old is she anyway? Apparently in her 60s from what I heard.
なになに？僕の顔になんかついてる？
No, I was just thinking you were able to come home. I was just thinking you were able to come home today.
思ったよりも早く片付いたから。
She put a smile on her face that would make anyone happy. Isn't your job tough?
そうでもないよ。ああ、そうそう。それよりも吉行くん。
Yes.
一緒に大岡さばき見ない？全26話。帰りにレンタル屋さんで借りてきたんだ。
Translated notes free. No thanks. Hang on a moment, I'm gonna check the translation notes. Okay, it's some feudal drama, I guess.
あ、即答だよ。冷たいな。
Is it a boring drama by the sounds of it? I have school tomorrow.
いいじゃん、休んじゃえば。
You're supposed to be the principal. Gosh, here comes another inappropriate comment from a principal.
勉強なら僕が手取り足取り教えてあげるよ。学校で習うのよりもずっとすごいの。
Remember when, like, one of the choices for, like, an upcoming LP was My Girlfriend is the President? That title seems like, at first, it's just like, that sounds like the weirdest thing ever. But now I'm like, can't be any weirder than this visual novel so far, honestly. Coming from a person with multiple doctorates, her words carried weight.
だからほら一緒に見ようよ。
She sure doesn't look that way at all, though. You still have to work too, right? Besides, Otome will be angry.
そうだね。乙女ちゃん怒ると怖いし。じゃあ今日は一人で寂しく見ることにするよ。
She looked disappointed, but smiled right away.
それじゃあおやすみ。
Thought she was gonna guilt trip you then, but you successfully dodged that. Okay, good night. The door was shut and I heard her footsteps go away with her humming. Sakura-san. I looked out the window. Through the crack in the curtains I saw cherry blossom petals fluttering in the air. and thought to myself, those are going to have a big part in this story, cherry blossoms, aren't they? Well, I guess I'm going to sleep. I turned the light off. What kind of dream am I going to have today? I let the Sandman take me away. "17th of December." Once again, I find it difficult to read that because it's backwards compared to how I usually would. Like today is the 30th of June, and you know it actually has in that way. It's not like June the 30th, it's the 30th of June. It goes in that order, you know. I woke up pretty well. I sat up and then crawled back into the bed again. It's like, fucking going back to bed. I turned on the heater with a remote control. I heard warm air blow out from the heater unit. I guess I'll stay in bed until the room warms up. Still, I felt like I had a nostalgic dream. I don't remember too much, but I still feel warm inside. A dream. I usually don't like having dreams because of that. I don't like having dreams because whenever they get vivid freaking nightmares or some shit, I prefer dreams that aren't, you know, overly bad. I have a special ability that nobody else has. Although it isn't anything useful, in fact, I wish I didn't have such an ability. As I thought to myself, the room grew pretty warm. Talking about that one where you can, like, make sweets appear out of nowhere or what? Okay, let's get up. I got out of the bed. Or we got another special ability. Cherry blossoms! Anthony asked me and she locked the front door. I keep freaking saying everything incorrectly. Anthony locked the Yoshino house's front door pretty open. It seemed rather strange, but it happened all the time.
どうしたの？何か忘れた？
My lunch.
もう早く取ってきなさ。
Cherry blossom effects as they fall.
って弟くんお弁当だったっけ？
No, not usually, but I want to take my lunch today.
今から作ってたら間に合わないよ。
She said with a sigh. Yes there is. Anything is possible as long as you don't give up.
無理なものは無理。ほら、時間見てよ。
But the time is... Man, we're way late for school. Actually, it's nearly 9 p.m. She showed me her watch. You can do it, Anthony.
わあ、しかも作るの私なんだ。
Sure, because you're a good cook. Your homemade lunch will give me something to look forward to, and I'll be able to concentrate on my studying. Just like, yes, praise her, and praise her, and she will eventually do that. Listen, I'll concentrate at least 3 times more than usual. Rattle, rattle. Why are you unlocking the door?
お弁当作ろうと思って。
Her sleeves were already up, and she was ready to do it. But there isn't enough time, though.
世の中ね、諦めなければ不可能なことなんてないんだよ。
Now she's copying you. No way, that's impossible. Look at the time. Roles have been reversed. I showed her my phone. Wait, our positions were switched.
おー。
Anthony looked at my phone wistfully.
お二人で朝からお熱い夫婦漫才をなさるのは結構なんですが、先に行っちゃいますよ。
You may reservedly spoke to us from just up ahead. We're coming. I walked quickly and caught up with her.
あ、ちょっと待ってよ。
Anthony caught up too. The 3 of us were side by side. Shall we go? The 3 of us were walking down the street to go to school as usual.
お弁当が欲しいんだったら前の日にちゃんと言ってよね。
For some reason, I pictured all 3 of them casually walking down the street and Staying Alive just kicks in like... Whatever. I don't even know the lyrics, honestly.
そしたら前の日から準備しとくのに。
But imagine the 3 of them just casually walking down the street and their voices just absolutely change and they start singing the Bee Gees. No, I can't. I'm a man who lives by following his inspirations. My mood at the time determines those things.
単に行き当たりばったりって言うよね、そういうの。ダメだよ、ちゃんと計画的に生きないと。兄さんにそんなこと言っても無駄だよ。いつもテスト前になると慌てて一夜漬けしてるような人だもん。
Last minute crammer time. So do you.
いや、私は成績いいですから。
I couldn't say anything because she was telling the truth. By the way, how can she get good grades when she's always wasting her time lazily at home?
兄さんとは違うわけですよ。
Is she just got really good memory and I have no idea. She smiled provokingly. Well, don't underestimate me, okay? I just didn't study, that's all. I usually pretend to be studying during the exam period, but I actually play RPGs that I made ages ago. Also, I read a complete set of my favorite manga. If I studied earnestly, I would be getting the best grades in the academy.
そうなんだ。
Shit. I forgot Otane was there.
勉強してるふりしてゲームしたり漫画読んだりしてたんだ。
I mean...
さすがにテスト期間中は弟くんでも勉強するんだって安心してたんだけどな。
She came close to me.
お姉ちゃんのこと騙してたんだね。
No, I didn't mean to deceive you, really.
今度からは一緒に勉強しようね。お姉ちゃんが教えてあげるから。
Are you smart though, or is it gonna be a case of, Otane, this isn't exactly... I mean, I know you're supposed to be older, but do you even know what you're talking about here? Her face was smiling, but her eyes weren't. Otane's right hand on my shoulder terrified me greatly. Yes, I'll be glad to. That was all I could say.
バーカ。
Yume muttered worryingly next to me.